Welcome back to Guns and Yellow Ribbons. A 1-0 win at Everton means Arsenal are top at Christmas. Not necessarily pretty, professional. 6 years under Arteta's reign, but this is the Arsenal standard. We'll break it down, and then we'll look at Crystal Palace in the League Cup at a quarter-final. Welcome to Guns and Yellow Ribbons. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to another podcast by Guns and Yellow Ribbons. This is your Arsenal podcast by Arsenal fans for Arsenal fans. Enjoy the show.
Trevor, good evening. It's just me and you. Everyone's off on Christmas parties and Christmas this, that, and the other. But we're obviously getting a bit too old for all that, don't you think?
Yeah. This show's past my bedtime, let alone anything else. Which,
how are we doing? How are we doing? You recovered from, it was a late night on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm still knackered, to be honest with you, mate. I had a late night Saturday. I had to be up really early this morning. I was up at 4:30 this morning. And on top of Saturday, I'm too old for this nonsense.
Talk to me about this stadium, because I really wanted to make this trip. And if it was the Sunday kickoff, I would have made the trip. Because there's no trains there and back. It's too much to drive there and back in a day, and the hotels were ridiculous. Talk to me about the Hill Dickinson Stadium.
Yeah, it's... I found it to be a wonderful new stadium. I really did. You get that picture you've got there. You can see that as you walk up to it from a long way away. And obviously, it's got a river round a couple of sides. So you've got a huge, great plaza at the front. Look, it was set up a bit like a Christmas market, but without the teddy bear stalls. There was food outlets and beer outlets. And actually, there weren't enough of them. There were big queues at them. But yeah, I loved the place. Got inside. The actual inside the stadium, the seating area, yeah, it was great. It's impressive. Mightily impressive. The only thing that let it down a bit was the concourse area. I don't think they've quite worked it out properly yet. It's a big concourse, plenty big enough. But all the food and the toilets and everything is down one end, and it's near where you come in. So you're like, everyone stood around there, and at the other end of the concourse there was a huge great area with nothing there. So maybe they need to think about that, but that certainly didn't spoil the experience of what is a wonderful new stadium.
And did you spot the blue ketchup? Because apparently they didn't have any red ketchup in there. Did you see any blue ketchup?
No, I didn't see any blue ketchup. I don't eat inside the stadiums if I can help it. So yeah,
it may well have been a marketing thing that it done when they first opened it. And the other thing that everyone says about the stadium is the way it's been built. The rake, you're very tight on the pitch. Did you feel close to the pitch like one of the old school stadiums, considered as new?
Well, I should hope I did. I was in row 2.
Okay, you know what I mean, Trevor.
It looked a proper football stadium. You know. It didn't seem quite so razzmatazzy as White Hart Lane, right? But I liked that about Everton. It's just a modern football stadium, a big end, all seated, highly banked stands all the way round. Not swamped with corporate. They've got corporate there, but it's not all over the place. Yeah, I thought it was. I couldn't fault it. As I said, apart from the concourse, I couldn't fault the ground. Looking forward to going back again, actually.
Yeah, I'm hoping if we can get past Portsmouth in the FA Cup and they can get past Sunderland, that we get an away fixture to Hill Dickinson. That would be 7,000 or so there. They were giving, I think they're giving Sunderland 7,000, over 7,000. So we all get a seat in one of the stands, which would be absolutely brilliant to go up there. Listen, let's look at the lineups first of all for this game. So Arsenal started off with Raya in goal, Timber, Saliba, Hincapié in for Gabriel, Calafiori, Rice, Zubimendi, Odegaard, Saka, Trossard, and Gyökeres. Can't really complain about the lineup. The back four is the back four. The midfield is probably the best we could get. And the options up top, I'm glad Gyökeres started. Trev?
Yeah, no, I agree. I was pleased that Trossard started as well. Glad to see Gyökeres back in. Eze, I feel for the boy at the moment, but I was glad that I didn't see Eze on the left because I think the game passes him by. So if he's playing Odegaard, he's not going to play Eze. Yeah, and the other lad, Hincapié, for me, he's getting better every game he plays. He's a proper solid lump of a defender. Yeah, I was very happy with the whole side. Yeah.
It's interesting actually because myself and Andrew, who were watching on TV, came along and said that we found that Hincapié was probably one of the, for the want of a really, really digging, but one of the weaker players for us. But you guys who were up there said he was outstanding, and you know it shows a difference. We're watching a game on TV to watching a game in person.
Yeah. And I didn't think we had any players that played really badly. Hincapié and Saliba just picked up where Gabriel and Saliba left off for me. I was very happy with that. There was a little bit of unrest from some of the younger lads about Gyökeres and even Odegaard. They were questioning a little bit, but you know, we're not going to go away and dominate Everton. And I thought we did all right from. I know you saw it differently, maybe, Ferg, but from minute one, we were all right. I wondered if we'd score a goal, to be honest. I was more worried about us not scoring than I was about us letting one in. Yeah. I mean, I thought that we defended well. We never looked like conceding. And I just wondered if we would manage to get the ball in the net at the other end. I had a horrible nightmare about a 0-0. I really did. But
well,
it wasn't.
I can understand that because the pressure was on us, really, because being moved to 8 o'clock, we would have been 2 o'clock on Sunday, but being moved to 8 o'clock on the Saturday night, City had played before us. They beat West Ham. We thought it was going to be 4-0. They beat the West Ham 3-0 convincingly. And they got the goal difference up as well, which worries me a little bit. But they beat them 3-0. So they went ahead of us in the league. So the pressure was on us to try and get back into that, top of the league at Christmas. I know it's more who's bottom at Christmas than who's top to say who's going to win the league, because we've been there for the last 3 out of 4 seasons, I think.
Look, sorry, I'm coughing here, folks. Look,
It's
right,
okay, mate.
Look, right. I'm not bothered about being top at Christmas. That what will be. And we are going to lose more games this season, right? Or draw a few. But then, so what? So are every other team, There's a very level playing field between the top 4 or 5 this year. And inside me, I'm thinking we've just got the edge, We've just got the edge. And if we play to our best, we can win it. And I still keep that thought, right? I still keep that thought. So, but we are going to have tough games. Everton were a very sensible home side. They knew they were playing a good side, right? So they played to where they thought they were strongest and nearly pulled it off because they were. I don't think they were going to beat us, but they nearly kept it to a 0-0. Although, come on, how many? It's a game of fine margins, football, right? How many could we have scored? A tiny little change in those margins. We win that game 3-0, and everyone's singing, "Yeah, great, we've gone to Everton and really won well."
That's really interesting you say that because, as you put on Twitter, said we won 1-0, and it was, as I said in the intro, it wasn't the prettiest of games. But if that goal comes off which went out from Raya to Trossard, and he hits the post, people have been like beside themselves with that's a typical Arsenal back again. But Trevor, what does concern me a little bit though, recently when I'm watching Arsenal over the last, few months, I'm not excited as much as I love watching us win, but I don't get as excited about watching the performances that we do these days. I know you're very, very positive, and I'm quite positive, but you put me to shame with your positivity. Are you as not bored, but do you find it sometimes very pragmatic?
I look forward to going to watch the Arsenal just as much now as I've done for the last 50 odd years, folk, right?
Yeah.
I genuinely do. Maybe it's because I've experienced some. These are not bad times we're in at the moment. We're top of the league, right? We've lost two games all season, right? If you're going to be slightly down or not looking forward to going to see this team, not you personally, I'm generalising, right?
Yeah.
Then you wouldn't want to be alive in the 80s and the 90s, right? Or the mid 80s, because trust me, we were awful. And in the mid 70s, we were awful. But I still went to every, games, and I'm still full of enthusiasm because I'm going to watch my team. Adam's right. Boring Arsenal. That we still sing it, don't we? We still
do.
sing it because it's funny. So yeah, I'm having trouble getting my head round people not being happy with where we are. The last two games we've not played the most exciting football, but we've found a way to win them. I'm buzzing because when you're nicking games like that, we didn't nick the game against Everton. We were never going to lose it, in my view. But yeah, no, I'm not down about it at all, Ferg. I'm not pessimistic about it. I just go to games because I love what I do.
Well, we scored in the 26th minute, and that came from a handball, and it was a VAR decision. I saw it live on the TV, and I thought straight away it was a penalty. It had to go to VAR. It took quite a while, but a penalty was awarded. And normally our penalty takers are Saka or Odegaard, but Saka and Odegaard had been the captain, asked Viktor Gyökeres to take the penalty. Again, Pickford was doing a lot of his mind games and time wasting and moving the ball around and the usual stuff that you expect them to do. But Gyökeres really took that penalty really, really well, and he buried it in the back of the net. I'm really pleased from Trevor. You?
No, he should never have took that penalty in a million years because he cost me my acca. I had Saka down to score. In all seriousness, yeah, and he took it really well, didn't he? I was over the moon for the kid. You can see his heart's in the right place, and it was the right decision to let him take it. It really was. Sorry, I just got in the corner of my eye. This comment from Demsek. Yeah, we were a mid-table team at best at times. At best at times, we were a mid-table side. Let me tell you. And you know what? People out there, if you're not enjoying or you think we could do a lot better than we're doing now, right? Then in 3 or 4 years' time, when we drop down a little bit, if we do, because football's all about circles, vicious circles, teams go up, teams go down. How are you going to feel when we're mid-table or below mid-table in a few seasons' time, maybe? What are you going to do? Because you're having meltdowns now, So just enjoy it, right? Just come along for the ride and let's get to the last half a dozen games of the season. But you spend a lot of money to watch a football. Enjoy it. You know what I mean? I enjoy it. Even Wolves at home. I found stuff to enjoy about it. The game was hard to watch, wasn't it? But coming out afterwards, I was belly laughing at the fact we'd won a game and not scored a goal. Brilliant. I'll come back and watch that again.
Oh yeah. That was amazing. It was like the shithousery of it was unreal because there was teams and fans right round on. Well, I call them fans. The people who are on social media going, "How can Arsenal win a game and they can't even score a goal?" Wow! Happy days, love it. Mind you, a bit disappointing there that, like as Dempsey said, it took 4 minutes to do the VAR for that. The guy had two hands on the ball and flapping it like that. It's ridiculous that it takes that long to do it, and they were looking for anything and everything before the incident to try and not allow for the incident of the fact there was a handball. It's just so convoluted, so complicated, so protracted, ridiculous, Trevor.
I saw Moyes' interview on the telly today, and he just said, yeah, it was a penalty. I don't know what the lad was doing. And when the opposition manager's saying that, it's a stone waller. And how they took so long to VAR that, I don't know. The only thing that I get in my head, because that's the way I think, is they weren't looking for a reason to give it. They were looking for a reason not to give it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And Mem, is that our Mem?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mem, the cycle has been too long, you see. That's part of the problem, Mem. It's not a problem, but we need to win the league or the Champions League in that stadium so that our young fans up to in their early 20s or mid 20s, or late 20s, know what that feeling is like to celebrate that euphoria, that uncontrollable glee and happiness of winning the Premier League,
Trev,
And I want those younger fans to feel that.
I've not seen it. I've not seen it in the stadium. I've not
You're
seen it in
not
the
going to claim
stadium.
to be on your 30s. I'm not having that. Anyway,
no, it's just because I've been a season ticket holder for 12, 13 years. So I wasn't in the stadium last time. Well, I wasn't in Highbury who won the league. I was in the area and around and celebrating, but I wasn't there. My wife was on the balcony with Bergkamp and Henry and everybody else while I was looking after the kids when they were down at the town hall. But I want to see that. I want to experience that. And I said at the beginning of the season, Premier League and Champions League double. I don't know if we'll do it, but it was just something I said, and I'm hoping it comes through. Listen, Everton failed to have a single shot in the first half of that Premier League home game. I think.
Hang on, who was it just said to me they started well in the first 15 minutes?
No, I said no. What I said is we looked. I don't know whether it was because. Maybe, you know what? Good for calling me out. Was it because they had that big tifo go up? Was it because the stadium is really good for noise? What was the atmosphere like in that first 10 or 15 minutes? Would that have buoyed the Everton players and maybe impact on the Arsenal players? The early stages of the game are always more difficult, aren't they?
Look, right. After the game, Dan and myself, we came out of the stadium. There's some new pubs appearing, and it says home fans only. But Dan and myself, there was only me and Dan, no colours on. We ducked in one, got a beer and sat at this table. And there was half a dozen young Everton fans there. And what I must say is that they made us so welcome. Every Everton fan I talked to over last weekend was superb, right? So different to the red side. I'm not even going to go on to the red side, but superb. And we were talking about new stadiums. And I said, lads, you will settle into your new stadium. The bad news is we're still settling in 20 odd years later, but they had to move. They had to move. But at the start of the game, Ferg, you see, if I'd have been worried about the start of the game, if I'd have been nervous, if I'd have been thinking, oh God, I'd have remembered. And I don't remember that. I just remember thinking, okay, here we go. cagey start, great stadium. I wasn't worried that we were going to concede or even coming under extreme pressure, Ferg. I genuinely wasn't.
Well, Demsek agrees with me. He said Everton did seem to start well, but then sat back, which is...
come on. Of course, they're the home team in the Premier League, in a stadium that was raucous after the tifo and the song, Of course, they started all right, but there's a difference between starting all right and starting well and really coming at us and battering us, because they never battered us.
Yeah. Into the second half, Trev. No change at half time. Tarkowski clears Saka's chance. Saka had beaten Pickford. And that we had 2 or 3 chances, hit the woodwork twice in the second half. For a couple of times I was sitting here jumping up out of my seat thinking, we've got it. We just needed that second goal just to make it feel like, make us feel that just a little bit better, because we did have a great performance. It just would make us feel a little better. Do you think?
Mems nailed it there. Mems nailed it with that comment. We controlled the match without firing. I thought we did control the match and we played all right. And you see, if we'd have scored another 1 or 2 goals, right, it would have looked like our performance was much, much better. But actually, we performed relatively the same. We just didn't finish our chances. And I was surprised at Trossard missing that, because he's been banging them in all season, hasn't he? I was quite shocked when he missed that, yeah.
Mind you, if Trossard scored that goal, can you imagine what that TalkSport and Sky Sports, and they'd all be gone mad, because it was a proper team goal from a defensive position for the player, for the keeper to throw the ball out, and then go to Rice, Odegaard, and right through the squad. And Trossard could do anything but hit the woodwork. He was just so unlucky, wasn't he?
Yeah. I haven't got words for it. I was gutted, absolutely gutted, because as much as I've said that I thought we controlled the game, we all know what games are like at 1-0, Ferg, don't we? You know, it only takes
Yeah.
one little mistake or one little lack of concentration and they can get in. But they offered nothing, Everton, against us up front, really. Well, I mean, I can't recall them having a chance. I don't know if anyone wants to put me right in the chat.
The only chance they really had was the one that people are talking about and has been put up on Ref Watch and various other people. When Barry came in, he was through on goal. Zubamendi cleared the danger, but VAR went back to check on this, which was a foul, according to the media outlets, a foul on Barry by Saliba. Now, for me, I've seen 2 or 3 different angles. The ball was clear of the player. I didn't see a foul, but I have got blinkers on, obviously. But we've seen this, and people are crying for this to be given as a penalty. But yet again, we had the exact same thing last season where Jesus had the same thing at Aston Villa and it wasn't given. So, you know, what were your thoughts? You clearly wouldn't have seen it well enough in the ground, but like afterwards, you've seen it.
Having watched it back, what I thought in the ground at the time was confirmed. I mean, just 2 players going for the ball. That's it, you know, just 2 players going for the ball. Both their eyes are on the ball. They're both going to try and kick it clear. What's Saliba meant to do? Is he meant to stand there and let the bloke just have a kick at it, or what? You know, Saliba don't see his foot because he's looking at the ball coming down out of the air. So I've watched it, but you know, but then with this modern game, you never know what they're going to bloody give, don't you? And you got that example there, Ferg. But the biggest example for me is when, was it last season or the season before, when Saka got absolutely kicked up in the air in the box. Absolutely kicked up. He went up 2 foot in the air, Saka, and landed. Whacked him. And that was never given as a penalty. And if that's the level we go by, then that was never a penalty at Everton. I could see why Everton fans got a bit, were shouting for it. We'd have probably shouted for it, wouldn't we? But I'd have shouted for it more in hope than expectation, you know?
Yeah, for sure. There's lots of people talking about it was never a penalty and so on. Look, we had 2 chances which should have come. We talked about one which was on 64 minutes when the ball came from Timber to Odegaard to Rice, and Trossard curled the ball past Pickford and hit the post. And 4 minutes later, Saka onto Odegaard, lined up Zubamendi, and he also hit the post twice. Your tweet, or X, or whatever you call them now, you come along and said, look, we won a game 1-0. If the 2 games came off, the 2 goals come off the same as they should have come off, and we're just like millimeters out, people would have been waxing lyrical. Zubamendi had a good game as well, didn't he?
I thought that, yeah, Zubamendi and Rice were again, we say it every week, it's getting boring, you know, but I hope he stays boring till the end of the season, because the pair of them are magical there. They really are. I mean, Rice's engine, again, so pleased he had the week off. I wouldn't mind him getting a rest tomorrow night, you know. I really wouldn't mind him getting a rest tomorrow night, because he seemed to come back from his week off and he was flying at Everton again, Declan. Yeah, and then Zubamendi for his first season in the Premier League, you know, just hit the ground running, isn't he?
No, for sure. You know what? I think we've just found a new chat. We'll have to chant. We might have to clear it via the chant police. Boring, boring, Declan. Boring, boring, Declan.
We're very lucky to have him, aren't we? And just for Declan's performances the last couple of seasons, right? He deserves to win something. For his performances, he deserves the team to win something, because he's been absolutely magnificent. Absolutely magnificent. I can't speak highly enough of him, you know, just astonishingly good player, alongside all our other good players.
You listen, on our WhatsApp, I did come along and said Hincap, yeah, but that was like really scraping, just like to try and pick somebody. But I thought all the players played really, really well. I thought Odegaard had a great game. I don't know why or where this anti-Odegaard stuff is coming from. It's all pro Declan be captain because he's a better captain than Odegaard. Who knows? They're not in the dressing room. They're not on the training pitch. Nobody will know what they are like as a captain.
Yeah.
A captain's a leader of a team. So yeah, the Declan is very vocal and he will express himself, but you don't know what Odegaard is like. So wind your necks in, please.
Consider yourself told out there, people. Consider yourself told, yeah. No, we do you know, right? And then I don't know where you're moving on to now, Ferg, but I've got it while I remember, I've got it written down here.
I've got a couple of facts on the game. That's it.
Jesus looked really good when he came on. I was so pleased to see the boy come bouncing onto the field, bounding around the park. And as much as I couldn't find much fault with Gyökeres, although he's still not hit the ground yet, bringing Jesus on changed things and seemed to lift us a bit, just seemed to give us a bit more buzz and movement. So, yeah, glad to see Jesus back.
It's good to have the depth, and I think also Havertz is not far away. Gabriel, they're talking about Gabriel and Havertz could appear over the Christmas. I don't know for how much or how long, but it's a long season. Listen, we won a game 1-0 courtesy of a penalty shot for the first time since August 2023, when the aforementioned Martin Odegaard scored a penalty on that day. In all competitions, we've scored 19 goals. The first goal in 19 games, and we continued to win those games. There were only 3 shots on target on the game on Saturday night. Only Bournemouth and Burnley earlier that day had less shots on target, and that was last on Match of the Day. No wonder I didn't last to see our game on Match of the Day on Saturday night. They had 2 shots on target. So listen, it wasn't the most riveting game, but regardless of which, we've got 3 points. We are top of the league. Merry Christmas, Arsenal.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We've lost 2 games all season. Enjoy the ride. It's not going to be pretty, but it could be worse. Your mum or dad could have taken you to the other side of North London, and look where you'd be now. Look on the bright side, because we're there.
Good job Uncle Pat was around, eh?
Good job Uncle Pat dragged this little brat of an 8-year-old over to Highbury. Yeah, good old Uncle Pat. God bless him. But no, I'm not gonna get involved with all this down talk. You find fault. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, right?
Yep.
I mean, today on social media has been full of opinions for differing reasons, right? Yeah. Okay. But at the end of the day, I'm going to support my team, win, lose or draw. If we go out to our next game and we lose 5-0, I'll still put the next one screaming my head off, because that's what we do. I'm a supporter. I'm going to support.
Let's talk Man City and possibly Villa a little bit for a second. Just like they beat West Ham 3-0. I thought it was going to be more. They are scoring a lot of goals. Haaland is kicking in. I think is he on 15 or 19 goals already? They've scored 41 goals this season against our 31 goals. Our defense is better, and I think it will improve even more when Gabriel comes back. Although we haven't conceded that many goals without him either, but I think we might score a few more goals. But they're clawing back that goal difference. We had the points advantage and we had the goals advantage a month ago or 6 weeks ago, Trev. Do City or even Villa, to a certain degree, which I think Villa are a really outside chance, do they worry you in this sort of title race?
Look, mate, you look at what's going on behind you and around you, but it doesn't worry me, because I don't care what they do. If they win the league, they'll be a better side than us. I don't want them to win the league. City, the thought of City winning the league again churns me a bit, to be honest. But
yeah,
I'm just watching what we're doing. I'm just watching what we're doing, and you mentioned it just now, right? You mentioned it just now, and it's very important. We've got a player who I certainly hadn't given enough respect to, by means of knowing how important he was for our side, coming back soon in Gabriel in defence, right? And Hincapié, Mosquera, they're fine players, fine football players who I'm happy to have in our side. But I honestly think we've missed the influence of Gabriel, right?
Hugely.
You know, he's just such a presence, right? Don't even put the ball at his feet. Just look at him and his positioning and his speed and his mannerisms and the way he wants to win that game for himself and his football club. And we've missed that. I think I never thought I'd say that this season because we've got a fine squad, but I'll be happy to see Gabriel back, mate.
Yeah, no, and to be honest, I'm looking forward to see Kai Havertz just to offer a different dimension in there, and maybe you can rotate Kai Havertz and mess things up a little bit, and then Gyökeres come on, or you got Jesus, and it's good to have the depth and the options rather than going right. We got Gyökeres, that's not working against this side. It might have worked against another side, but
Yeah.
Having Jesus as we have now gives us more options. A bit like we've had with Martinelli and Trossard, like that
Yeah.
like dovetailing of those two has been absolutely fantastic this season.
Yeah, absolutely is. It's worked wonders. Trossard and Martinelli squaring off for that left wing spot. And you know what? If I see the team sheet and it's Martinelli, or if I see the team sheet and it's Trossard, it doesn't faze me in the slightest. Doesn't faze me in the slightest. The one thing that does worry me, though, Ferg, right, is that Gyökeres isn't scoring the goals yet, right? Isn't scoring enough goals yet, right? So lots of people are saying about Havertz and Jesus returning. Okay, yeah, great to have them back. But wasn't, and I'm waiting for the comments here, but wasn't the reason we had to go and sign a striker because Havertz and Jesus didn't have enough goals in them, So we wanted them to come back. Are they going to change their ways to score a few more goals? Because that's why we went and bought a striker.
Well, we wanted a striker to have that option of an out-and-out number 9, and that's what Gyökeres is. And you could see it at the weekend, and you could see it in the previous game he played, that sometimes we don't actually play to his strengths. There was a couple of occasions on Saturday where through like a proper cross in front of him, he would have scored possibly 1 or 2 goals. And we play the ball in a different move. And I think the players need to learn and know where he is. Or maybe you have to have confidence in him. But you're never going to get confident in him unless you try and play that ball through to him. There was a couple of times, I can't think of them in particular, but I can see them. But from the left, I think it was Saka with the ball across, and you think like, oh, just lay it right in front of him and he just tap it in, and they take the ball that's slightly bit more further back and try and play it a bit more intricate balls. I think we sometimes need to play a bit more simple football to him.
Yeah. What do you mean? What, the ball into his feet, or you see
straight to his feet, and he'll tap him in?
It's interesting because I was just sitting here thinking about that. I've not worked out what is best for Gyökeres yet, whether it's to have the ball in at his feet or whether it's to put the ball behind him and let him run onto it, Maybe it's a bit of both. A good striker does both of those things, doesn't he? So, but I'm not worried about him. Far from it, actually. I watched him closely when we were in that ground, and he's still bouncy. He's not down. He's still looking for the ball. He's not avoiding play. He's looking for play, looking for the ball. I think he looks for contact a bit too often, to be honest. I really think sometimes
we mentioned that several times before.
When it would be better if he moved away from the defender a bit. But yeah, I've still got every confidence he's going to come good. I wish he'd come good now, and but he's still struggling a bit. But I'm sure he'll be all right. He'll be all right, hopefully.
Yeah, he keeps making the runs, as Demsek said, but the ball ends up recycling back, and that's, I think that's the point I'm talking about. We recycle the ball back rather than giving the ball directly to him for him to have a shot target. Yeah,
I agree. There's still times it doesn't happen half as often now, but it has happened. I've seen Gyökeres make a move and the ball's gone sideways, and you're thinking, oh, opportunity there, And it's probably been once or twice in every game I've seen Gyökeres playing. I just see him make a move. You see him make a run and a move, and you think, go on then, and the ball goes sideways again, and it is a bit frustrating, but they still have my faith. They'll still sort it.
Simon also has a point. If we just finish up on Gyökeres, some of the through balls are up against a low block, so there's less space as well, because he does like to have that run at somebody, and he's poor with his back to goal. But our tactics don't help that situation. Listen, I'm still very positive about Gyökeres. I think he will come good. He's going to take some time. The Portuguese league, in comparison to the Premier League, clearly there's a huge difference. But he has got his opportunity. I would like to see him start on tomorrow night against Palace. We're the Carabao Cup quarter-final against Crystal Palace on Tuesday at the Emirates Stadium. If we win this game, we play Chelsea on a two-legged affair for the semi-final. This is a repeat of last season's League Cup quarter-final, and we won that one 3-2 with Gabriel Jesus getting a hat-trick and Eddie Nketiah getting a couple of goals as well in this.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on this game, and who are you putting out? Are you putting Jesus? Are you putting Gabriel? Are you putting Eddie?
Just before I'm going to come to that, Ferg, I just seen Ronnie's comment here, right? Ronnie's put that Gyökeres needs to lose weight, get better ball control, then he will improve. Ronnie, maybe I should give him some tips on how to lose weight. Maybe I could become a lifestyle coach and trim a stone or two off him. Yeah.
You know how much you could charge for that, and do yoga, yoga stances afterwards. Yeah,
but listen. There's not many people would have the willpower to eat the rabbit portions I've eaten for the last 6 months. Anyway, Ferg, listen, Palace tomorrow, right? I'm not going. I've got to miss a few games over Christmas. Don't worry, people. I'm not poorly, but my health hasn't been the best the last few weeks, so I've got to miss a game or two. I'm just sensibly spacing them out over Christmas because family as well. But tomorrow night, right, I'm not going to look past the game. All I'm going to say is the incentive to beat Palace tomorrow night is a very, very high one, very, very big one, right? So I want to see us beat Palace tomorrow night. Now, we know what's going to happen. Palace are going to go a bit weak. We're going to go a bit weak. But it's a trip to Wembley, possibly, isn't it? And we all love a trip to Wembley.
Well, the semi-final is Stamford Bridge first, and then the Emirates, and then Wembley.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not looking. I'm just saying I like a trip to Wembley. I'm not looking at. So I'm talking about I like a trip to Wembley in reference to tomorrow's game. So I want us to go in pretty strong, but I don't. I'd like to see Rice have a bit of a rest, right? And I think he'll probably give maybe Odegaard and Saka a bit of a rest because he can bring Eze in, right? He can bring Madueke in. And in midfield, he can bring Marino in, I want to see the back four stay strong. We probably play White for Timber. And maybe Lewis Skelly on the other side for Calafiori. Although
is White fit?
Oh no, of course not. No. Yeah.
No. Well, I think the only options we probably got in the back, bar bringing Salmon in, we got Lewis Skelly.
Yeah.
But I think our back four, unless you're going to rotate with those two, I think that's what we've got.
Yeah.
Midfield wise, I think we can have Norgard, your favorite player. We could have Marino in instead of Rice. We could have Eze in there as well. I think then we got the opportunity to bring in the likes of Wanyeri. You could start Martinelli if he's fit, and then up top, Jesus, and then have. I'd probably start Gyökeres, if I'm honest, and have Jesus come on afterwards, or rotate. But I only want to get Gyökeres back into scoring form, and if he's against a slightly weakened Palace side, who are big and strong anyway, he might stand a better chance. That's all. That's all. Well,
get that. Yeah, you're right. You got me. All the comments are superb tonight, by the way. Thank you, people. Superb comments tonight. I forgot about White being injured. That's terrible of me. See, I like, if we drops Rice, I like the Marino Zubimendi in the middle because I think the Spanish experience of playing together comes through. I really do.
Yes.
Does he play Gabriel on the left and Gyökeres in the middle? Because Gabriel's played on the left before, or was it the right? One of the wings. He played on one of the wings,
Left. Yeah,
So
left. Yeah.
he's always got, Arteta's always got a little surprise in him when it comes to picking his
And do we
side.
start Madueke? Keep Saka on the bench?
Yeah, I'd start Madueke because I don't think it makes us a lot weaker. Kepa in goal, obviously. We've got to give him a little bit of a run out. And then Demsek's put here, my team only has 10 who plays as the 10. Well, Eze, he's got to get runs in the side, and he's got to get runs in the side where he's going to influence the game. And if I'm honest,
and him as a 10, Trevor, is quite good. But you could also play Wanyeri as a 10 if you got Madueke outright.
Yeah. We seem to forget about Nwaneri at the moment. He's getting no game time. Wouldn't surprise me if Nwaneri doesn't disappear off out on loan somewhere in January. Injuries allowing, of course. Injuries allowing. But no, I for me, Eze, at Aston Villa, I felt sorry for Eze. Some people construed what I'm going to say now as a criticism of Eze. And it is anything but. But I thought when we played Villa and Eze's playing wide, I just thought the game passed him by. It's not his position for me, It's not his position. He plays well behind the front one or two.
Yeah, he does. And listen, we thought when we signed him that he would be good on the left or just inside off the left. And all the Palace fans had said to various friends that we know he works best in the middle, in that 10, in that, that sort of role that you're talking about, Trevor. And we have seen his best performances when he's been in that role. And when he's been out left, he's like we saw him out left at Villa away, and he was poor. He was just like not involved in the game. But I don't think any player has really played poorly for us this season. So I don't like to slag players off. But listen, Ethan Nwaneri has scored 4 goals and 5 starts in this competition. He's got to have a start, don't you think?
He should have had a start. Well, he's not having game time. And I'm not worried about him starting. I'd like to see him spend a bit more time on the pitch. But when you look at our bench, how full our bench is, there's always going to be one like Eze and Madueke missed out, at Everton. So they're going to miss out. But Nwaneri is not getting enough game time for me. So,
what do you reckon on Demsek's comment there? He feels his gut feeling about Ethan Nwaneri is that he's the next Smith Rowe. He's just not going to make that. He's an excellent talent, but probably won't make that level.
Yeah, I hadn't made that comparison, and we know Demsek. He's a friend of ours. Demsek. All I'll say is that I hope your gut feeling's wrong, mate. I really do, because I had that lovely warm feeling about Emil Smith Rowe when I first saw him, the size of the kid and how good he was, and it didn't quite work out. I hope it does work out for Nwaneri, because there's definitely a fine player in there. Hang on a minute. Let's not judge Eze on the left based on one game. Villa neutralised him. I hope he has another go there. Do you know what? It's interesting, Anna, and you make a really good point, mate. You make a really good point. But we know a few Crystal Palace fans here, and before the season even started, just after we signed him, my phone, I must have had about 10 messages on my phones from Crystal Palace fans saying, don't play Eze on the left. His strength is in the middle. You will not get anywhere near as high a performance out of him on the left. Now, Aman, I'm hoping you're right, mate, and he gets another chance there and he absolutely dazzles us. Nothing would give me greater pleasure. But I'm just going on what I've been told. And I'm also going on the fact that Eze scored a hat-trick at Tottenham, so that gives him a 5-year pass for me. You know what I mean?
Can I also say to Aman that Declan Rice was played as a 6 for years and years and years for West Ham. He came to Arsenal and Mikel Arteta decided to play him as an 8. And now he loves playing as an 8. And Declan Rice has been open in saying that since he has come to the club, he thought he knew football. He learned new levels of football. He learned new things about football, that he so admires Mikel Arteta and what he's got out of him. So I'm sure if Mikel Arteta can see that Eze can play left, because he can, but it's
Yeah.
probably not his strongest position, he can get more out of him.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
Look at this
that's my
one.
point.
All-
Hang on, just before we go, we do face another Hale Ender in Eddie Nketiah. Eddie Nketiah scored the most goals in this competition since 2017. He scored 13 goals. He's no longer an Arsenal player. Most of those goals were scored in an Arsenal shirt. He's there for Palace. Does he worry you at all?
No. Look at our back four. No. But then no striker worries me. I mean, if we've got Gabriel playing, right? Haaland doesn't even worry me, Ferg. You know, because Gabriel
and Saliba, yes, pocket.
You know?
Yeah.
So no, I can't say that Nketiah bothers me. I really can't. Okay. No, not at all.
Listen, there was a comment you put up. Do you want to put it back up again, or do we want to discuss it? Or
where are we? No, I just more to the point. Arteta didn't trust ESR, and it seems the same with Ethan. Do you know what? It's a good point, Kev. It's a good point. But what I will always say is, we're supporters, we're fans. We see what we see. We have no idea what's going on behind the scenes, what goes on a training ground, what goes on outside the football arena. I don't know. It just seems strange to me that Smith Rowe left the club like he did. We never heard anything else, and I'm probably running up a blind alley. But to me, it seemed really strange that Smith Rowe left the club when he did. But he did.
Jake actually mentions, you say you don't know what goes on behind the scenes. Jake mentioned earlier, and I started. He watched. He's over in the States, and he's watched All or Nothing series again, and it really makes you appreciate how the team has transformed over the last 4 or 5 years. We have had 6 years with Mikel Arteta. This week, Trev. I don't need to ask you this. Where are you, Mikel Arteta? Score out of 10.
Oh, ask me at the end of the season, Ferg. Ask me at the end of the season.
I would say, even at this stage, and I know exactly where you're coming from, even at this stage, I would give him probably a 12 out of 10, because of what he's done to change the culture, to change the club, the way he's taken what was a collection of players that were there to placate some of the fan base, like with the Ozils and Aubameyangs, whilst they were great talents and great players. I do think that Wenger, as much as I've got his picture behind me and I think he's a god, Wenger was out there to try and just manage. I don't know what he was trying to manage, but he was just trying to keep things stable. Arteta came in and just went, forget all that. Let's start. Everyone's out. All gone. Let's start again.
You have to be honest, Phil. You have to be honest, mate, right?
Yeah.
At the end of Arsene Wenger's reign, we were on the decline, right?
Yes.
We were gradually finishing 1 or 2 places lower each season. And Arsene Wenger left the club, and I think he should have gone sooner. I'll forever be grateful for the wonderful things he let me enjoy as a supporter, as I spoke about earlier, you know. But he left us in a bad position. So we'll miss out Ljungberg, we'll miss out Emery, and Arteta's come in, and you nailed it, Ferg. You nailed it, right? Arteta changed everything into his way, right? Now, the last 2 seasons, we finished second, right? Last season in
3 seasons.
3 seasons. Last season in particularly, why do 99% of people say we finished second? Injuries. We didn't have a deep enough squad. Players got injured and we didn't have anyone to come in. So what have they done this summer? They've gone and strengthened the squad, made it bigger, and they've put that right for me. So at the moment, I can't pick fault in what Arteta's done. He's having no luck at the moment with injuries, you know. But no, we're all right. We really are all right. And I have absolute faith in Mikel Arteta. Where are we going here? Well, yeah. You thought for
No.
sure it's
Before you put that one up, I love this one. Wenger built the Emirates. Arteta has turned the lights on, but he's got his hand on the light switch,
yeah,
Stefan. But
yeah,
he will
yeah.
turn the lights on if and when we do
Yeah,
what we've got to do. Go on,
exactly.
Trev.
No, exactly, Ferg. Exactly, Ferg. To really get that stadium finished, to lay the last brick, right, is to put a big trophy in there. Then these young fans see us win something. I mean, I was doing some work in London last week, and a lad that was 34, right, wonderful lad, said to me he can't remember the last. He can vaguely remember the last time we won the league, you know. And that's the longest we've ever gone now since 1931 when we first won the league. So I think that we're doing everything we possibly can to win it. I think Arteta has done everything he possibly can each season. He's changed things. And he made the squad bigger this year. And not only did he make the squad bigger, he made it of a much higher quality. And the poor geezer, the poor bloke suffering injury after injury again. Fingers crossed after Christmas that comes right. And I'll go back to it, right? Gabriel. We get Gabriel back and watch that team lift. Watch that team lift when he's back at centre half. Watch it lift.
Trevor, I love this. I love this. Every Monday and Fridays, me and you, we sit here and we have a chat and talk, and sometimes with some of our mates and everybody in the chat. And it's really good to do this. And it's okay to talk. And that's the line we've used from Andy's Man Club. We like to talk about Andy's Man Club every episode, especially this time of the year. It's dark. We've just gone past the longest day of the year. And from today onwards, the days get brighter and lighter. Okay, I'll take a long bloody time, but listen, there's light at the end of the tunnel. And we just want to make sure that people out there know that Andy's Man Club are there for you. They are on tonight, 7 till 9. So you won't be able to watch us, but we don't care. If you need Andy's Man Club, you go and see them. Go to them on andysmanclub.co.uk, or you can email them. Just Google them. If Andy's Man Club's not your bag, or go speak to somebody, speak to your mates, do something. And this Andy's Man Club is about men's mental health, but it's also about suicide prevention, but not totally about suicide prevention. But suicide prevention has got to be the most important thing, because that's a permanent solution to a temporary situation. I've been lucky, Trev. I've not been in that sort of a dark place. But I know very close friends of mine who have. Some have taken the ultimate decision. Some have rescued themselves and are still okay. And I speak to them on a regular basis to make sure they're okay. But it's talking that's important.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is, right? If you're out there now, it's like 2 or 3 days before Christmas, right? If you're out there now feeling down, right, get through this Christmas, find someone to talk to, get by, keep in company if you can. If you want to message me on Christmas Day afternoon, right, guarantee I'll be under influence of alcohol, but I will always talk to people because I've seen it happen. Everyone out there knows that firsthand. My dad committed suicide nearly 50 years ago now, and still not a day goes by when I don't think about him. Don't make people think like that. And I guarantee to you, if you're feeling down this Christmas, but you get through it, you won't be feeling so bad next Christmas. And the Christmas after that, you'll be back up and running again, right? Because it's not going to pretend there's not an overnight fix for feeling down, but there are fixes. It takes a bit of time. Bear with it. Go for it. Talk to anybody. Message me, message Ferg. Ring anyone, Just get through it and lighten the load. And there's always a little light at the end of the tunnel, as Ferg said. God bless you all, people.
Yeah, Trev, just that thing, just to give people a little bit of hope. I sadly lost my mum on my birthday about 6 years ago. And it still got me to this day. But it took me 2.5 years to start to feel a little bit more normal. And it was Liverpool when we beat them 3-1 5 years afterwards. I'm pictured by Stuart and everybody and everything. But it is about people around you. It's about friends. It's about talking. It's about, yeah, it does take time. Everything takes time to heal. And when you're feeling crap like that, just reach out. Listen, Merry Christmas, everybody. Just listen. I know we've been a bit deep and everything else, but like we wish you all a Merry Christmas when you're on your own, or whether you're with me for 18 for dinner. Merry Christmas. I probably need just as much help as anybody else, Trevor.
Yeah, the only difference is you permanently need help. Adam,
Yeah.
keep going, mate. Adam, keep going. I'm just reading this comment now. You keep going, and if you need anyone to talk to, then you give someone a call. If it's me or Ferg, then so be it. But yeah, you need help all the time, Ferg. I can't believe 18 people are coming to taste your cooking. Unbelievable.
And listen, I've got my son-in-law. Well, he's now officially my son-in-law from May. They're arriving with my daughter on tomorrow afternoon, and we're going to the 2 games over Christmas. We're going to Brighton Hove Albion, and we're going to the Villa game. The Brighton game is a 3 p.m. kickoff. Are you down for the Brighton game, Trev?
I'm coming to the Brighton game. I'm not sure about the midweek game, Ferg.
Okay. So we'll meet in the usual place. Are you drinking over Christmas? I thought you'd taken it.
I may indulge in a. Well, look, right. I didn't want to. I don't want to go on about it. I'm not going to go on about it. Last week, back end of last week, I hit my target. I lost my 5 stone. Right, 13 stone 5. I was right. So I'm thinking now. You know, I can have a few drinks over Christmas. I can eat a nice meal on Christmas Day. Straight after New Year, I'll be back on it, right? But yeah, I'm going to enjoy a few drinks, folks. So I probably won't be on the Guinness, but I will probably have a few Jack Daniels and Cokes, and maybe a small red wine in the stadium itself, old chap. You know?
And a baby Guinness or 2.
No, I don't do them shots. You know that. It's complete waste of money, oxygen, breath, and everything. But yeah, I don't. You know me. I don't like them shots. They're a waste of time. All they are is a money making thing for whoever. But Ferg, listen. Before we move on, talking about alcohol, right? We met in Liverpool Christmas market before the game, right, on Saturday afternoon, and there's a few bars there actually, and we went in one and they had Guinness. So I thought, do you know what? I've not had a pint of Guinness for months, so they brought me this pint of Guinness in a plastic cup, right? A plastic pint glass. And I looked at it and I thought, do you know that don't look too bad? And I tasted it, Ferg, and it's never going to be the best I've ever had. But for what it was a fine pint of Guinness. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I enjoyed it that much, right? I had another one. Yeah.
It got a bit Moorish. So give me a quick outline, because I don't know how much we're going to be doing over Christmas. We might do Friday, but we'll definitely do the Monday next week. But what's your thoughts on Brighton and Villa?
Brighton, we're
winning.
We're winning. Yeah, no concerns at all. Villa back at our place. I saw Morgan Rogers yesterday, and we've all got to admit he's a very classy young man. Yes. You know, quality. But you know, we lost to a late goal up there. Back at our place, we should be beating them. And we've got, over the last 2 or 3 seasons, when we've had a bad run, we've had 2 or 3 bad games, and we've done them now. We'll shine now. We'll shine against Brighton, then we'll be buzzing when Villa come to town. And
keep talking, Trev.
You what?
Keep talking.
Oh, Joe, he's gone. Do you know what he's done? He's gone to empty his Christmas celebrations because he's been out there in the pub today. Yeah, it does have to be 2 wins. It really does have to be 2 wins, Simon. Ronnie, I think bad Ronnie people is a Tottenham fan that comes on here, and he talks well. He's all right, good as gold. But I don't think bad Ronnie will be on here tonight after the recent experiences that Tottenham have had. They're looking awful, aren't they? Such a shame. I'm gutted for them, you know. The good thing about the visit to the new stadium on Saturday night was that loads of us have got every game ground in the Premier League again, you know, because none of us had until we went to Everton, and it was well worth the visit, and I can't wait to go back there again. Fergus is coming back now. I can see him in the background. He's just tucking himself away, which don't take very long because he ain't got much to tuck away. And here he is. Good old Ferg, you know.
Oh, you're dreadful. You're dreadful. We're meant to do this seamlessly. And as soon as the screen goes big, you're meant to know, oh, he's gone for a wee. Honestly, I have got a. Actually, funny enough, I have got a PSA test on the 2nd, so that's hopefully will help.
No, do we don't want to know the details of that?
Prostate thing. So because that.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, so,
listen, Ferg, before you press the button, right?
Yeah.
Don't put me on a big screen here. Just want to say, right. Don't call people out when you live in a glass house yourself. All right. And I'm going to leave it at that. Okay. Ferg, press the button.
Love it. Trevor, the one I played last week on Friday, we got tugged on YouTube for copyright. So if anybody's watched it back, it's been clipped out. So, but don't worry about it. That's so we can't use that one again. On that about glass houses and everything else, it's about chance. And there was the chant that people are talking about at Everton, which many teams fans have mentioned. It's not clever, it's not big, and none of us are condoning it. But when you get people who promote toxicity and promote hate and promote killing a manager, or killing might be a strong word, but you understand what I mean. Harm to a manager, to players, to screaming and shouting down camera screens. Check yourself out.
Yeah, I wasn't going to go that deep. You've nailed it, Ferg. I wasn't going to go that deep because he'll probably pick up on this and he'll know exactly.
Don't care.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. Me neither.
Okay.
By the way, I didn't sing. I was in the ground. I didn't sing the chant. Didn't necessarily agree with it, you know. But I'm not going to come on, do a video and stick it on social media about people's moral standing when looking in my own house is bang out of order, you know. So yeah. Anyway, Ferg, let's not end on that note, right? Look, let's end on a high, right? It's Christmas week, right? I want to wish, right? I'm going to do this.
Let's do decorations. There we go.
I want to wish
decorations.
Every single person that watches and listens to this show a very Merry Christmas. Thank you very much. I want to wish football fans around the world a Merry Christmas, right? Because outside of football, we shouldn't hold any malice against each other. I had a wonderful evening in the company of Everton fans the other night. So everyone have a fantastic Christmas and a happy new year. To the people that do this podcast with us, thank you. Thank you all for listening. Have a great Christmas, everybody, apart from Tottenham fans. Can't wish you a Merry Christmas. Sorry, I'm done.
I have to totally echo what you said there. Merry Christmas to everybody, to all our guests. We've had David Hillier, we've had Laura, we've had Smudger on. We've had loads of really good guests and people on throughout the year, and we thank you all for your support. But we thank you people who tune in and watch us every week and listen to us on audio. We got 300 people watching us right now on the Monday before Christmas, when there's Christmas parties got on everywhere. But we have 400, 500, 600 people watching us sometimes. We really do appreciate it. We do this for a little bit of fun, a laugh. I like chatting to my mate Trev. He drives me mad. And whoever else wants to join in the chat with us.
Mate, since when did I become his mate? You know what I mean? I just put up with him to come on here.
Point proven. But I would like to wish all your families the very merry Christmas and the most happiest and healthiest 2026 and beyond. We are winning the Premier League. We are winning the Champions League. Up the Arsenal. Fuck the Spurs. You have been watching Guns and Yellow Ribbons. Merry Christmas.
Thanks for listening to Guns and Yellow Ribbons, an Arsenal podcast by Arsenal fans for Arsenal fans. Follow us on Facebook at Guns and Yellow Ribbons or Twitter at Guns and Ribbons. And remember to rate and review us too. Up the Arsenal.